All right, good afternoon, anyone who's in here. We are live for the Mets Diamondbacks rubber game. Yeah, just thought I'd go live here. I haven't done it yet. Just want to talk about the game and react as the game goes on. No pressure, but hey, if you're here and you want to comment, please do so. We got about 10 minutes before the game starts, so I just want to go over a little bit of what what we're looking like, preview the game a little bit. We got Kodai Senga going for the Mets today. He's been very good this year. Maybe hasn't gone as deep into games as we would like. But listen, he's been good. He's still got an ERA in the ones. Um, yeah, and he's going up against Zach Gallen, who also, if you know baseball, is one of the better pitchers in the game. And but he has not had a great year this year. If you look so far this year, he has an ERA in the fives. He's about a 5.57 ERA, so he hasn't performed all that well. And I think this is an opportunity for the Mets to take advantage of a guy who's not having a great year. I'm a little bit nervous because they don't perform all that well in. Sorry, 1 second here. Yeah, they don't always perform well in these day games, and it makes me a little nervous, especially on a getaway day. They're heading to St. Louis after today's game to start a new series tomorrow. So I'm not crazy about our chances against a guy like Gallen, but we have Senga on the mound. And before yesterday, the Mets were hitting well. The two games before yesterday, they had 27 runs in the two previous games. So we don't really know what we're going to get out of this Mets offense, but at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. Uh, yeah, I don't know. 1 second here. Sorry about that. My MLB TV is acting up on the TV, and I had to switch over to the tablet or the phone. But yeah, anyone else having issues with this MLB TV app once it switched over from SNY? It's been terrible. Works on some devices, not on others. Half the time on my TV it works, half the time it doesn't. Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. I much rather prefer the SNY app. As for someone who, I have cable, but I don't really have a cable box right now. So it was nice to have the SNY app, but what are you gonna do? It's Yeah, I agree. It's terrible. I'm assuming you're talking about the app. I hope you're not talking about me. But yeah, the app is absolutely terrible. Yeah, so we got a few minutes before the game starts here, so uh, we can go through the lineups a little bit. Obviously, we've seen these guys for the last couple days. For the Mets, they kind of go with their A lineup here: Lindor, Soto, Alonso. Um, that's the top three every game. That's what they're going to come with every day. And then you have Winker at DH against the right-handed Gallen. Vientos playing third. He's been heating up. He's had a couple home runs lately. Did not like his at bat in the ninth inning last night. I thought it was pretty bad, kind of uncompetitive. Nimmo, he's been hot. Obviously, the 9 RBIs in one game, tying the Mets record. We have Torrens in there instead of Alvarez. I'm fine with that. Torrens has probably hit better than Alvarez so far this year. Um, Small sample size, obviously, for Alvarez, but he also looked completely overmatched last night. He did not look good in that game. Uh, McNeil in there. I'm excited for what McNeil's been doing. Tyrone Taylor. Yeah, so it's kind of their A lineup. And then for the D backs, you have Corbin Carroll, who's been great this year. not necessarily in this series, but this year. Perdomo. It's basically their everyday lineup: Pavin Smith, Padromo, Josh Naylor, Suarez. So yeah, they're going. Both are going with their their regular lineups today, and really it's both teams' aces. So you have Gallen going up against Senga. So let's hope the Mets match up well. I don't know. These day games always make me nervous. So I don't have tons of hope necessarily, but I do like I do like our chances the way the offense has been swinging the bat. Also, Soto, he did go 0 for 4 yesterday, but he hit two balls over 100 miles an hour. One was like 113 miles an hour. So really overall, I think he's ready to break out at any second. I've been saying that for a week or 10 days now, though. So who knows? But I really think with Lindor hitting well and Alonso hitting well, if we could just get Soto going, this offense can start really, really scoring a lot of runs. And I hope that starts today. I really need to see Soto hit a home run in Citi Field. I don't want to wait a whole nother road trip before it happens. So hoping for it. Yeah, sorry, this is new to me, guys, so I kind of forget that I'm streaming right now and I'm kind of just doing other things. But yeah, once the game gets going, there'll be a lot more action here. I kind of started a little early just so we can go over matchups and what exactly, my thoughts on today's game. Also, I wanted to get into a little bit of yesterday's game. I want to know what you feel about Mendoza and how he used the bullpen. I know there's a lot of talk all over social media right now. Basically, a lot of people are really not happy with Mendoza not going to Diaz in that game. And to be honest with you, I kind of felt the same way. I don't know how they kind of punted the game to begin with, right? You're going with a bullpen game. You're going with Waddell, who heard of Waddell before yesterday or before the Mets called him up. So you kind of went into the game punting it, but then at a certain point, you're in the game and you're actually winning the game, and then you go down 2-1, and because of Stanek and because Stanek's been pretty bad, but you go down 2-1, but you're still in the game. You have your top of the lineup coming up to start the ninth inning, or at least to come in the ninth inning. You have Taylor, Lindor, Soto coming up, so you have a chance to win that game. And instead of going to Diaz, you leave in the reliever. I forget his name even. They sent him down today, but you leave in that guy, the minor league reliever, to go for his second inning, and he gives up two more runs and really makes it difficult for you to come back and win. So I do think Mendoza wears the loss a little bit after last night, but it was a punt game. It was a really strange game because they were punting it, and then clearly when they brought in Stanek in the eighth or the seventh, they were going for it, and then once he gave up the lead, they kind of started punting it again. I don't really love the strategy there, but I don't know. I guess I'm a big Mendoza fan, and I don't disagree with him very often, but sometimes when it comes to the bullpen, I scratch my head at the decisions, and I don't know if it's all him, if it comes from him, or it comes from the front office, who he's going to use, or if it's pre-planned, but I don't always love his in-game decisions when it comes for, to the bullpen usage. Senga's taking the mound now. We're about to get going. And they're talking about it on the broadcast, trying to get Soto going here. I think that's important. I think that's what they really need to do. That's what's going to really take this offense to the next level, is get Soto going here. He's been fine, right? Soto hasn't been terrible. He's getting on base. He's got a good on base percentage, and he's getting his walks, and he's even getting some singles here and there. But at the end of the day, he hasn't been that impact bat. He hasn't looked like Juan Soto, but he is hitting the ball hard. He hit one last night out to left field. He hit one out to left field that I thought was going to go out, and it kind of died at the warning track. And then he hit one a really hard. Looked like it was going to be a double, but it was right at the outfielder. So I think that was at 113 miles an hour. So listen, he's hitting the ball hard. They're just finding people's gloves, and eventually those all even out, and he'll turn it around. Hopefully, that's the plan at least. We hope he turns it around. All right, they're going through the Mets defense. We already talked about the lineup today. Tyrone Taylor's been so great in center field, by the way. How great has Tyrone Taylor been? I know Siri is known as a great defensive center fielder, but we haven't missed anything with Taylor being out there, and he can hit better than Siri, so I'm fine with Taylor being our starter for the rest of the way, honestly. Siri brings a lot of energy and speed and aggressiveness, and that's all well and good, but Tyrone Taylor is really the guy uh, who I think should be starting out there in center. And, mix McNeil in there a little bit too, so you can keep McNeil and Acuna in the lineup every day. That would be nice. It looks like on my stream I am a little bit behind, so um, the game is about to the first pitch is about to be thrown, and I'm a little bit behind on the stream. So uh, bear with me on that. All right, Senga gets behind right away. Not a great sign. Senga's now behind 2-0 on the first batter of the game. Not what you love to see. Um, Looked like that fastball was about 92. He's been starting a little slow with the fastball and then kind of picking it up as the game has gone on. Um, there goes that fork. Nice strike. Uh, Shallow. Ooh, nope, Nimmo can't get there. Base hit for Carroll to start the game. Uh, I thought Nimmo was going to get there, and he just kind of never did. That was unfortunate. Nimmo's definitely lost a lot of range out there in left field. I think that's a ball that he would have gotten to a year or two ago. I don't think he. Yeah, it seemed like he pulled up at the last second there. I don't expect him to dive for something like that, but yeah, he kind of just stopped right there at the end. That's a ball that he used to get to, and he just doesn't anymore. But okay, we got a fast runner on first base to open up the game against Senga. Little dribbler for a strike. Sorry, I'm trying not to do play by play, but it's kind of hard not to sometimes. Shows bunt, inside pitch. Padromo gets out of the way. Perdomo is a 267 hitter, more known for his defense, but he's a good hitter as well. Senga gets a nice call there. That pitch looked a little outside, but he's got Perdomo 1-2. If he gets that call all day, he's probably gonna have a good time. Oop, foul back. Yeah, Senga's fastball looks a little down today. 93. I know he's been getting the extra days rest the last couple times out. Um, but yeah, his fastball 92, 93. Not what you necessarily expect out of Senga there. It's hard not to react because I'm watching it on one and I'm behind on the watching and it's ahead on the app. But right now it looks like Perdomo has struck out swinging. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, I don't know. My app is a little bit behind the stream. But yeah, first out for Senga there, getting Perdomo to swing over that fork ball. that ghost fork. Carroll stays at first. Let's hope he gets stranded there. Yes, that diving catch was amazing. Sorry, I just saw that comment. I'm assuming you're talking about Tyrone Taylor there. Carroll's trying to steal second. Oh, we got him. Terens, yes. Terens has really been so good defensively, especially against a good base stealer like Corbin Carroll. That's a nice it's a nice way to get him out. That was a really nice throw there. That was a perfect throw. And yeah, 2 outs now in the inning. Senga, after giving up that bloop in the first inning, looks like maybe he has a chance to get through it here. That would be nice. Get off to a good start. Get the Mets offense on the field. Get them up at bat. Strike one. Yeah, he's getting the close calls. Senga's getting the close calls right now. After last night, the umpire was definitely more of a hitter's umpire. It looks like this guy is calling more of that outside, and he's calling them close for the pitcher. So far, that's a good thing, especially for Senga. Yeah, look at that. Terens 16. He's 49% throwing out base runners. That's pretty good. 16 for 29 or whatever it said there. All right, Senga gets through the inning, 2 strikeouts and an easy little bloop. So really good, strong first inning for Senga. Nice to see. We need to get him going, and it was a quick inning too. Nice, easy 1-2. Well, not 1-2-3, but a nice efficient inning. We need some length out of him today. I know the bullpen should be rested after. Really, the only guy who pitched last night was Stanek, and I don't think we'll see him again today. But it would still be nice to see him go 7, and not have to burn like a Kranick for 2 innings, or we don't have an off day going into this St. Louis series. So I would like to see that bullpen as rested as possible. What is happening? Sorry, guys. 1 second. All right, so we got Lindor coming up. The crowd is singing. How great has Lindor been, by the way? We have not seen that Lindor April slump. He definitely had that. He had that like one first week of the season where he was kind of struggling a little bit, where his wife gave birth and all that, and I think that probably weighed on him at that point. But listen, he's been on fire, and we usually see Lindor really struggle in April, and he's hitting over 300. What does he have? 6 home runs now. Like he's just been killing the ball, and if he's going to be this good in April, I don't know what we're going to see. We could see a real MVP season by Lindor this year. It could be a big year for Lindor. Elvin, the Mets need to bring up Beatty and DH Vientos. Yeah, I mean, I liked the way Beatty played third base. I do think he's a better defensive player. DH, I still like Winker. I know Marte has not been the same guy. He did hit a home run the other day, but I don't know. I don't think at this point they think of Beatty as part of their future. I think he's going to be a trade candidate going forward. I just don't see him really being that guy anymore in their mind. He was getting on a bit of a hot streak towards the end of his tenure this year with the Mets, but I think really they're hoping that he gets hot in the minors, and and they can trade him for something. I think that's their plan, honestly. We got Lindor behind in the count 1-2 here. Let's see what Lindor can do. Ooh, fouls off another one. Yeah, Lindor's just put together really good at bats, and I think that's what's been so different from his early seasons in the past. His early seasons in the past, he was making weak contact early in the count or just looking really bad and striking out. See, it's a weak, kind of a lazy fly ball there to left to start the game. So 1 out for the Mets here in the first with Lindor flying out. And we got Soto coming up. I haven't been able to tell. Have there been boos? People who have been at the games lately, has Soto been booed? Because it's hard to tell because after he gets out, then they start chanting Pete. I don't know if they're saying Pete or they're booing. It's kind of hard to tell. I was wondering anyone who has been there in the last few games, what's been going on there. Oof. That looked like a strike to me, but Soto got the call. 1-0. I think Soto gets the benefit of the doubt sometimes on those close pitches. The umps know that he's really good with knowing what's a strike and what's a ball, so if it's close and he doesn't swing, they kind of give it to him most of the time. He didn't get that one there. 1-1. He didn't like that call, Juan Soto. He says something to... I notice about Soto, too, he talks to the umpires a lot. He talks to that home plate umpire and the catcher a lot. He does a lot of talking when he's up at the bat. So 2-1 now on Soto. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And we don't necessarily need Soto to be the 40 home run guy. We just need him to produce a little bit more. We need to see him really start to just be that impact bat. Yeah, LFGM. We just need him to be that impact guy. Yeah, he grounds out in the hole there. Yeah, been a lot of that. A lot of ground balls. He has been hitting the ball hard, but it's a lot on the ground. He hasn't been hitting line drives or lifting the ball. That's really been the issue. I was reading something, or I saw some stats. For most of his career, he's been a bad player in April. Not a bad player, but he's been about what he is now in April. It's just last year was kind of the outlier with the Yankees. He got off to such a hot start. And yeah, that has to do with hitting in front of the best player in baseball, and that has something to do with it. But this is kind of how he starts. He did have one kind of underwhelming year, and that was when he was with San Diego. But that was a strange team. They had such good players on that team. You're talking about, Machado and Tatis Jr. and Soto, and they were under 500 that year. They won 80 games, so that was a very strange team. So we got Alonso 1-1 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. And Alonso gets a single right past the second baseman. Pete continues to stay hot. He's been getting a lot of those. Pete did hit a home run the other day, but he's been more of just a contact hitter so far this year. He does have 7 home runs. It's not like he's hitting for no power, but he's been more of just a get on base any way necessary so far this year. He just completely changed his what he's doing out there. So all right. I don't know why my stream is so far off. Let me see if I can put it on my phone if I'm closer. Because I feel like I'm like 2 pitches behind on my stream. One second, guys. I keep getting confused because the screen says one thing and the actual video says another. So I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, my phone's about the same. So yeah, 2 outs here. Runner on first is Pete Alonso. We got Winker up with a 2-1 count. 2-2. Yeah, I don't know how you guys have felt about Winker so far this year. He's only hitting 213, but he always seems to come through in the clutch. He does a really good job with his clutch hitting. He seems to live for those kind of moments, and I liked him in those situations. Um, he doesn't always come through, obviously, but nobody does. But I'm really liking what we're seeing out of Winker in those spots. Now, overall, yes, he has not been great so far this year, but he has had some big hits, some big moments, and I think he's just good for that clubhouse. I think he's one of those guys who brings some fire, brings some energy, and I think he's really important to this team, whether he hits or not, or hits at a level that we all want him to or not. He's good for that clubhouse in general. They needed a guy with a little bit of grit and fire to him. And I think that's what Winker is. Winker's fouled off a couple pitches here. Still 3-2, 2 outs. At very least, they're making Gallen work here in the first inning, trying to raise up his pitch count, even if you don't get a run here. If you can make him throw 25 pitches in this inning and make his day a little bit shorter, why not? Let's do it. Also, guys, if you're here and watching this, please like the stream. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Really boosts me. Even if you are here and you can comment, even if you've commented before, it helps boost it and sends it out to more people. As Gallen gets Winker on strike 3, on a called strike 3, and the first inning comes to an end. I think Gallen, I wasn't paying exact attention, but I think he threw 22, 23 pitches there. So made him work a little bit in the first inning, trying to get him out of the game early. If you can't beat him, it's a lot like Corbin Burnes yesterday. They had Burnes on the ropes all day long. Yesterday was such a frustrating game because they had so many opportunities against Corbin Burnes. It seemed like every inning there was a couple guys on base, and for whatever reason they just couldn't push the run through. They could not get that big hit, and it's what really killed the game yesterday. They just could not get anything going offensively. Really, their only run up until that ninth inning was a solo home run by Mark Vientos. So even that was with nobody on base. And I part of it is Corbin Burnes is a good pitcher and knows how to get out of those situations. But part of it is also that the Mets' situational hitting just wasn't very good yesterday. So, yeah, I didn't love yesterday's game. It was definitely frustrating. Stanek definitely was frustrating, and in the ninth there was a couple bad at bats. Obviously, you get the bases loaded, or Tyrone Taylor comes in the ninth, hits that home run to make it 4-2, and then you load the bases with nobody out, and you only are able to score one more run. Yeah, you need to score a couple there with nobody out, runner on second, and bases loaded. You need to get those runners in from second and third there. So, not my favorite game. My least favorite game of the season, I would say, last night. So, yeah, wasn't a huge fan of last night's game. But I hope at the end of the day, we kind of have everyone rested today in the bullpen. You can use Garrett. You can use Diaz. I still don't get why Diaz wasn't in there. I'm going to stop talking about it, but Diaz should have been in that game yesterday. No reason not to be. All right, first pitch of the second inning, and they get Naylor to ground out to second base. McNeil, kind of a ho-hum play, normal play. But listen, one pitch, one out here in the second. I'll take it. And we got Suarez coming up. Suarez is leading, I believe, the major leagues in home runs. He already has 10 this year, including one game where he hit 4, and then the Diamondbacks also lost that game to the Braves. But yeah, big season so far from Suarez. He doesn't have a lot of RBIs, so he's hitting a lot of solo shots. But what does he have? 17. I didn't see what the number said there. Something like 17 RBIs with 10 home runs, so or 20, somewhere around there. So he's obviously not getting a lot of hits other than his 10 home runs, but he's had a really good year so far. He's always been a dangerous hitter, and I feel like he's a guy who always hits the Mets well, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, I didn't look up any stats, but that's what I seem to remember. But Senga has a 2-2 count on him right now. this is one of the dangerous guys in the lineup, one of the guys that you have to get out. And the count goes to full, 3-2. After a quick one pitch out for the first batter, now we go 3-2 on the second batter of the inning. Suarez, foul ball. I thought that was fair. Yeah, Suarez hit a line drive down the left field line that I thought was going to be fair, but they called it foul. Yep, just foul. All right, good call. Good call for us either way. All right, and then fly ball to center field. Nice easy play for Tyrone Taylor, and there's now 2 outs in the inning. So yes, Senga's at 22 pitches through an inning and 2/3 now, so pretty efficient so far. If he can get this next batter out in less than 3 or 4 pitches, then he's in good shape to go deep into this game. Gurriel coming to the plate, 181 hitter this year. Not a great year for him so far, but if he gets going, this Diamondbacks team could be really dangerous. They're dangerous already, but they could be even more dangerous. And quickly, Senga gets ahead, 0-2. It would be nice. Finish off this inning quick here. Another foul ball. Yeah, if they're the Diamondbacks, honestly, their strategy should be to make Senga work a little bit. He's not a guy who throws a lot of innings, throws a ton of pitches. So if they can make him work and try to get him out of the game, it would be helpful to them. But yes, I think Senga's looked good so far today. His velocity is a little bit down, but that one wasn't down. 95. He seems to have the velocity when he needs it, and then when he's just trying to throw a strike, he's been throwing it 92, 93 so far today, and using that ghost fork. It looked pretty good. Got a strikeout with it in his first inning of work. Oh, 2, ball 1. Struck him out on the fork. That is his 3rd strikeout of the game so far. So through 2 innings, Senga's at about 27 pitches. So really nice, quick two quick innings, efficient innings. So nice work from Senga so far. These day games are strange sometimes. Sometimes it feels like guys just don't want to be there. Both teams, not just the Mets. I always feel like the Mets look like they don't want to be there in a day game, but especially today, it looks like both teams are kind of checked out. But could work in the Mets' favor. These games usually end up 2-1, and all the scoring is done in the 9th inning. That's what I've noticed about these getaway day games. Not always the most interesting to watch. I'm curious to know, has anyone here been to Citi Field this year? Have they gone? How have you enjoyed it so far this year? I've only been out there once so far, so curious what everyone else has done. All right, coming up in this inning, we're going to be starting with Vientos. We have Vientos, Nimmo, and Terens. Winker did make the last out in the last inning, so Vientos has been hitting well lately. He's gotten on base a little bit more. He's hit for a little bit more power. He's had a couple home runs in the last week, and he's also been just hitting the ball to the warning track too. There was a couple balls that he's been hitting the other way that looked like they were going to go out off the bat and haven't actually gone out. So I think Vientos is kind of on his way up at this point. He's just not there quite yet. He's not fully back, but he looks like he's getting back to the point where he was last year. All right, strike one to Mark Vientos. Inside 1-1 on Vientos here. Vientos lines it right to the center fielder. Center fielder didn't even really have to move there. So, not a great at bat there by Vientos, but he hit the ball hard, but just happened to be right at the center fielder. Gallen at 25 pitches now with 1 out in the second. Like to see them work a little bit better counts here. Nimmo hasn't been that guy. Nimmo used to be that guy who worked counts, but so far this year, and really last year, he stopped doing that. He started doing a lot more power hitting, swinging at a lot of first pitches, but there we go. Right as I say that, 1-0. Nimmo grounds right to the second baseman on the second pitch of the at-bat. That's been Nimmo this year. He's not working long counts. He's grounding the ball out a lot. Yes, he had a big game in Washington the other day, which kind of saved him from really looking like he's had a terrible season, but he's still batting in the low 200s. He's got some power. He's got, 6 home runs and now 21 RBIs, but a lot of that was on one game, 2 of those home runs and 9 of those RBIs were in one game. Ball 1 to Terrens. I like Terrens a lot. I mean, I know we all like the upside of Alvarez, but at this point, Terrens right now has been so much better this year and so much more consistent. Two and one on Terrens now. Two on Terrens after swinging at a ball down and in there. Gallen, obviously you can see why he's such a good pitcher, and Gallen's a guy that a lot of people think might be a Mets target after this year as a starting pitcher. He is a free agent after this season. Obviously, he has not pitched all that well this year. He's a 5.5 ERA, but he's been a really good pitcher for a while now, and I could definitely... I don't see him as a Mets target, only because I don't think David Stearns is really going to pay that much for a pitcher. He's going to get like a Corbin Burns type deal. I don't know that Stearns does something like that. It's just not his style. As we see Terrens get a 2-out walk here, nice. Get his pitch count up a little bit. These are important at bats. Even if you don't score runs in these innings, driving up Gallen's pitch count is important. Try to get him out of the game. Try to make him only go 5 innings. That would be nice. Get him out, go after the bullpen. We know how the Mets hit bullpens. They have problems against starting pitchers, and they do very well against bullpens. So I'd like to see them work these counts. McNeil inside. Ball 1. And he flies one deep to center. Ooh, nice play by the center fielder there. Yep, so that's the 3rd out of the inning. McNeil hit that ball hard. Looked like it might be going for the right center field gap, but Thomas definitely made a nice play and ran it down. So not a great inning there. You got a base runner. Didn't really drive up the pitch count as much as I would have liked, but listen, they're it's a day game. They never do well. Yeah. So this coming inning for the Diamondbacks, we have Alec Thomas, Tawa, and Herrera. So 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order. I'd like to get a quick inning here from Senga, who has faced the minimum so far because he did give up a hit in the first inning, but it was to Carroll and he was thrown out trying to steal second base. So has faced the minimum so far. Get a quick 7, 8, 9 hitters out here, and then you're through 3 innings, feeling good, feeling comfortable. Yeah, how has everyone kind of felt about Senga's outing so far? I feel like it has been kind of up and down, mostly up. Obviously, he's got a 1 point something ERA, so it can't be that bad. But he's had definitely really great stretches and some stretches where he seems to get hit hard and throw a lot of pitches and have to come out of the game early. So I'm curious what everyone else has thought about Senga so far this season. All right. They are now stepping back in. We got Alec Thomas coming to the plate. He made that nice play to end the inning there against McNeil in the second inning. It wasn't, I mean, he wasn't a diving play. It wasn't a spectacular play, but just to have the ability and the route you take to the ball and the speed you use to get there was a really nice play to end that inning. You could tell McNeil was upset. He thought he had a double in the gap at least, and it just, the ball got outran there. Senga throws a curveball for ball 1. Sweeper, curveball. Don't see too many of those from Senga. All right, 2-0 off the sinker. Two one, man, that ghost fork is really moving. I think that's a tough pitch. It's a tough pitch, guys. Guys have a real hard time laying off that, even when it's a few inches below the zone. 3-1 here. And that's a base hit through second and first. Second hit of the game for Arizona. Another speedy guy on the base here for the Diamondbacks. That's their second leadoff hit in 3 innings, but the first one obviously got thrown out at second, trying to steal. Sorry about that. All right, 0-2 on the next batter, Tawa. Yeah, I forget that the Mets are even missing Marte in this series. He's probably their best player outside of Corbin Carroll, and he's not a factor in this series, which is great for the Mets. 0-2 to Tawa. Throws over to first. Senga misses badly there. Ball in the dirt. Nice backhand play by Terens to keep it from going to the backstop. We're seeing a lot more breaking balls out of Senga. Usually he's like fastball and that ghost fork. He's throwing a lot of sliders and curveballs today. Tawa bounces one foul. That's a strikeout for Senga. First out of the inning. Runner stays at first base. Senga's pitched well so far. He's looked really good. His pitch count's manageable so far. He'd like to get a couple quick outs here. A nice double play would be good here for him. A 1 to Herrera, who's the backup catcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Oh, 2 to Herrera. Herrera looks like he's taking his time out here. Fouls off a pitch, staying in the at-bat here, making Senga work a little bit more. I mean, we're in the third inning. Senga's at 41 pitches. He's probably strictly less than 100 on a pitch count of strictly less than 100. He's usually around 90 pitches he's done. So we'll see. Laid off that forkball, tough one to lay off. Another foul. Yeah, he's really hanging in there against Senga. So 43 pitches now in the third inning with one out. You don't want that count to keep creeping up on you. And that's a ball. That should have been a strike. That was not a ball, but the umpire's calling it fair. He's not been perfect so far, but he has been fair for both sides. He's calling it even for both sides. Herrera, another floating base hit into the outfield. That's their second time of the day where they broke their bat and the ball ended up in the outfield for a base hit. So we have runners at first and third now with one out. Senga could definitely use a double play here. That would be ideal. This inning was set up well for the Mets. They had the 7th, 8th, and 9th guys in the order, and now they've given up 2 hits. Senga's given up 2 hits in the inning. And we have Carroll now to deal with. And he swings through that curveball. outside. 97 by Senga, so his velocity seems to have caught up at this point. Early in the game, first inning, second inning, he was throwing 92, 93. Now he's throwing 97, so Carroll is probably their most dangerous hitter, not exactly the guy you'd like to have up here, so not pumped about this at bat. And he has him 2-1. This should be a good pitch to hit. He fouled back the cutter. 2-2 count. Yeah, Gary just said it on the broadcast. He needs a strikeout here, a strikeout or a double play. I mean, listen, if you give up one run here in the third, you're not, the offense needs to score anyway, so struck him out. Nice. All right, he gets Carroll to swing at that high fastball there and gets the second out of the inning. That's a big out. That's a huge out so far. That's the biggest out of the game so far for Senga. Needs one more to get out of this inning. Yeah, I was a little worried about his velocity early in the game, but it picked up. That was 96. He threw one earlier, 97. So sometimes he just struggles a little bit to get into the game. We know Senga, he kind of struggles in the first inning a lot of times and then comes raring through. And that's for a lot of great pitchers. If you notice, a lot of great pitchers, you have to get to them early. Getting to them once they settle in and once they get you 2 or 3 innings, then they really start to settle in and become dominant. And Senga's definitely one of those guys. But right now it's kind of the opposite. He looked great in the first 2 innings and he struggled a little bit here in the third. But really it's a base hit on the ground between second and first and a bloop out to right field. So it's not like he's giving up hard contact. He's been fine here. But he is up to 52 pitches now in the third. Makes it a little bit harder to go past maybe 5 or 6 innings if he continues on this pace. And now he's 3-0 on Perdomo. And you have Pavin Smith up next, who is hitting .338 on the season. So you want to get this guy here. You want to get Perdomo. I just noticed the Mets starting pitchers and pitchers in general have walked a lot of guys. They've been able to get out of it in most cases, but their walks are definitely way up. And he walked him on 4 pitches, even after stepping off the mound. Not a great batter time up at bat there for Senga. Not a competitive appearance there, or not a competitive at bat for Senga here. Sorry, stammering. He seems to do this though. He just kind of loses it, and the Mets pitchers have done that. They've been very good, but then they just have that inning where they kind of start to lose it and start to, especially Peterson and McGill and yes, their ERAs look good and they've been great. Especially McGill. McGill's been unbelievable. Senga's been unbelievable, but they have these innings where they just seem to get into their own way. They start walking guys and. This one really isn't Senga's fault. He gave up those 2 weak contact hits, but let's just hope he gets out of it here. I don't think the Mets offense doesn't fill me with confidence after yesterday and what they've done in the first 2 innings today to think they're going to score a lot of runs. So I think we need to limit the damage here if you're Senga. All right, slider first pitch. He's thrown so many sliders. He's kind of not. He's been like a lot of breaking balls. I'm not used to that with Senga. A lot of breaking balls today. And it's been good. It's been good for him. He kind of backdoor slider there. Another one. 0-2. All right. Get this guy. Don't lose him here. Senga definitely needs a nice out here. Even just to preserve his pitch count. Right now he's on pace to basically only go 5 innings because of his pitch count after having a really quick first 2 innings. He'll use that 28 pitches coming into this inning, so. Struck him out. All right, that goes fork. All right, so he gets through the inning, loads the bases, but he bends but does not break. Really nice job there by Senga. Obviously, Pavin Smith helped him out there swinging at that ball in the dirt, but who cares? He got the out. He did what he had to do. So overall, listen, he gave up no runs against a really good offense. So that inning could have definitely gotten out of control. He started losing his command there a little bit, and I think that he really pulled through. I just don't. It makes me nervous because for some reason in these day games, getaway games, I don't see the Mets scoring a lot of runs here. I just don't think they're going to. It's not something that they normally do in these kind of games. So let's hope that I'm wrong. But I don't think Senga can give up very much today. If he gives up four runs, it's going to be tough for the Mets to come back just because they never really do in these type of games. They don't score a lot. So, yep, we got bottom of the order coming up for the Mets here. Well, the ninth hitter. So we got Tyrone Taylor, then obviously Lindor and Soto up after him. So good opportunity. It's the same part of the order that we had come up in the ninth yesterday, and Taylor hit the solo home run, and then the bases got loaded, and the Mets couldn't really cash in. So I've liked Taylor's at bats a lot. You know, Taylor's not a great hitter. He's more of a glove out there in center, but he listen, for a backup outfielder, a fourth outfielder, I'll take Taylor any day. He seems like a Dodger to me. He seems like one of those guys on the Dodgers who you've never heard of. Who, when you play the Dodgers, there's this guy and he just beats you and just destroys you. And it's not Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani that beat you, but it's this random guy. That's what Taylor seems like, the Mets version of that this year and last year too. All right, we got Taylor coming up here. They're showing youth softball or something on SNY here. Taylor takes the first pitch on the outside for a strike. 92-mile-an-hour cutter, I guess, there. Fouled off the second pitch on the knuckle curve. Way up high. It's so crazy. I'm watching it. I don't know why my stream is so far off. Strike three called basically right down the middle there in a fastball. I don't know what Taylor's looking for. Obviously not the fastball in that situation because he did not swing, did not offer at the fastball. It shows that it wasn't really down the middle, but it kind of looked down the middle to me. Now we got Lindor coming up. Let's see what he can do here. Gallen's just not throwing very hard. I know he's not not really a hard thrower, but he's in the 92, 93 range on his fastball. Yeah, not a guy I think the Mets are really going to touch after this season. I just don't. Lindor grounds it weakly to second base, and that's second out of the inning. 2 quick outs here for the Mets in the third inning. Not what you want to see. You'd like to make Gallen work a little bit more. They're really not. Got Soto coming up. Let's see if he could do something. This is the type of game where, I don't know, to me, both teams look kind of uninterested at this point. This could be a game that's decided, that's 1-0 or 2-1. Soto takes ball 1. So, honestly, a solo home run or, an inning where maybe you score 2 or 3 runs can be the difference in this game. So, they need to, I'd like to see Soto do something here. Get on base somehow. He loves to fake that bunt, and he actually did bunt in a game last week. And listen, I don't want to see Soto bunt. Please stop If you want to show bunt just to make the infield come in, sure, but don't actually bunt. That's not a strike, that's a ball, but it's called a strike. This umpire's consistent, though. Listen, I'm not complaining about the umpire, the balls and strikes, because he's been consistent on both sides. He's called the same pitches both ways, so I can't be angry at that. 2-2 on Soto here. Should be 3-1, but it's 2-2. Again, not complaining about the umpires as long as they call it fair, which he has so far. I'm sure he's done the same for Senga. 3-2 now for Soto. This is the thing with Soto. People complain, but he puts together great at bats every time. Even if he grounds out here or listen, he's putting together good at bats. He's making the pitcher work a little bit, and that's important. That also that boosts your team a little bit, makes the pitcher work, tires him out. Those are important things. I know that's not what he's paid $760 million to do, but in some ways it is. That's a big part of his game. And he walks, big part of his game. A lot of people complain about that. He's not having the Soto season that we'd like. I don't disagree with that in any way. He is not the guy that we thought we were getting so far this year. But he's not terrible. He's doing a lot of Soto things. He's just not doing the Soto things. He's not doing the... You can't look at him... You look at a guy like Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani and you're expecting the same guy. Well, he's not really that type of guy necessarily. He's not that big power threat that those guys are. A big part of his game is just getting on base and doing those small things. He's obviously helped Lindor, and he's helped Pete Alonso. So even if he just does that, until he gets hot, then you can't complain about anything he's done because we're all frustrated. We want to see that big moment. We want to see that big game, but it will come. And until then, just know he's still helping the team win. We got Alonso 1-1 here, 2-1 as the fastball hits the inside corner. Yeah, Alonso's just been hot. Alonso's been great so far this year, and without him, I don't know where the Mets are. Without him, I don't know where this offense is right now. Wow, he's done a lot of damage against righties. Usually he's killing lefties, but this year he's been great against the right-handed pitchers. Oof, little tapper to second base. And that does it for the third inning. Not a great inning there. Soto had a good at-bat, making him work a little bit, making Gallen work. But overall, another game like yesterday where it's very frustrating. They're just not doing much. And actually, it's not like yesterday, because yesterday was frustrating because they were getting on base. They walked 5 times against Burns. They had 5 hits against Burns, maybe even 6, and they just couldn't get the big one. Today, they're just not really getting on base. They're not doing much of anything. So, yeah, so far, one of those getaway day games. They're thinking about the flight to St. Louis rather than thinking about this game that they're trying to win today. Hopefully that changes. But as of right now, this feels like one of those games where they're just... And it's both teams. It's not just the Mets. Both teams are kind of uninterested, and we're not going to see any scoring until the 8th or 9th inning. For the Diamondbacks, we have Naylor, Suarez, and Gurriel coming up in this next inning. That is 4, 5, and 6 in the order. And big inning for Senga here. If he can get through it quickly, then maybe he can go a little deeper into this game. If he struggles in this inning, he's probably only going 5. So he needs to get some quick outs in this inning. See if we can go around the league. Is there other games on right now? Kansas City, Tampa Bay, 1-1 in the 4th. Cincinnati is up over St. Louis, 2-1 in the 4th, and they're in a delay. The Cubs and Pirates. Ooh, that fan who fell onto the field last night for the Pirates. That's terrible. That was awful. Apparently the guy's in critical condition. That's. Then you have people saying he jumped, and listen, I don't think so. I saw that video. It looked like he got excited and jumped up and fell over the thing. And that was just a terrible video. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was bad. Couldn't imagine. And I've sat in the Coke corner in City Field and sat in the front row and said, well, it would be really easy to fall off, especially if in a game where the stadium's kind of rocking. It's so easy just to tumble over. So pitch one to Nailers at ball 1-0 here. First batter for the Diamondbacks here in the fourth. Yeah, Gary just said it on the broadcast right now. Feels like this game is being played at half speed. It's just neither team is all that interested in this game. They're leaving. They're going on the road. They just want this game to be over with. They're not that interested in this game. 2-1 on Naylor. They called that a strike. They said he swung at that. Didn't look like it to me, but I'll take it. Ball 3-1. Not a great start here for Senga in the fourth. And he walks Naylor on 5 pitches. Not what you really want to see here. Yeah. Not wonderful. Walked the leadoff batter in the fourth inning. Not what you love to see out of Senga. You see that pitch count rising now, 62 pitches with no outs here in the fourth. Now we have Suarez up with his 10 home runs and a runner on first base. He fouls off the first pitch, and it is 0-1. All right, 0-1 on Suarez. I don't know what's going on here. Senga stepped off. McNeil told him to step off, apparently. Looked like Naylor was going to try to catch Senga napping there, and McNeil called him out. Strike 2 to Suarez. Got him with a slider there. 0-2 count here. Big pitch coming up. This is a big at-bat in the game with a runner at first and Suarez up at the plate. And it's a double play ball to Vientos, throws to McNeil, on to first, double play. Beautiful. It's exactly what they needed right there. They needed a nice quick inning from Senga, and after walking the first batter, they needed that to happen. Big play, big play. Beautiful. Oh, they're challenging that call, the Diamondbacks. Oh, he looks like he was probably safe in that spot there. I think he might be safe. That one might get called back. That one might be overturned. Well, it would be nice if maybe we got a break from the umpires after the terrible umpiring we've seen the last couple of days. I don't know if you guys saw the Jesse Winker, the play, the ball that he hit that he said was off of his foot. I couldn't really tell I couldn't really tell if it was off of his foot, but I don't know why you'd react like that if it wasn't off your foot. He immediately just didn't run, and I would assume it came off his foot. Yes, it would probably barely grazed it, but that's a foul ball, and that should have been, and Winker's been involved in a couple of those. Obviously, that game in Washington, that triple play, that was not a triple play. That ball was not caught. So Winker's been involved in a couple of those now. It'd be nice if we got one in our favor here. Okay, they overturned the call. He's safe at first. I could see that. He definitely looked like he was safe in the replay. These umpires have a hard job. You know, we complain about them and want them to be right all the time. We want them to always get it right. They're just people at the end of the day, and these calls are hard to make. If you're watching this game live, you don't see every play. You don't get everything right. And these guys are expected to get everything right. They're going to get some wrong. Now, there are some egregious ones that happen, but if it's a bang bang play at first base, it's normal to get that kind of play wrong. It just is. And we got Gurriel up here with now one out, runner at first. We need a quick out here. Hey, let's just get another double play. That'd be nice. One zero. And it's a base hit into right field. Soto bobbles it for a second. So now there's going to be runners at first and second with one out. And we have Alek Thomas coming to the plate for the Diamondbacks. Yeah. Well, the Diamondbacks offense seems to be getting some hits here and being a little bit more interested than the Mets are. Sometimes the Mets just get they piss me off because they're just ready to they're just so quick to want to get on a plane. But like, you're at home, win the game. Don't worry about tomorrow's game tomorrow. Worry about your flight after the game. It just seems like they're disinterested right now. Ball one. Well, Senga's losing his command a little bit. He started losing it a little bit last inning, and he's losing it again kind of in this inning here. Not throwing a lot of strikes. Hopefully he can get out of this inning like he did the last one. There's a foul ball, so it's 1-1 now. Senga's about to throw his 70th pitch in this game. And he does for a ball. It's 2-1. There's another base hit into center. Ugh. All right, the Diamondbacks take a 1-0 lead on a base hit. The throw comes into second. McNeil throws it away, trying to throw the runner out at third base. So the Diamondbacks score a run, and they're still threatening here. He just hung that slider. So the Mets go down 1-0 on a base hit by Alek Thomas to center field there. And McNeil just, I don't even know what he was doing with that throw. He had him out. Oh, he hit the runner. That's what it was. He had him out. He hit the runner right in the shoulder. All right, that's what happened there. Couldn't figure out why that throw was so bad because it looked like it was on target. It was 2 on target. Hit the runner in the shoulder. So now we have second and third. 1 out. Diamondbacks 1-0 lead. And we have Tawa up, the 8-hitter. 2-0. Yeah, Senga's losing his control here. It's not ideal. I mean, he's up to 73 pitches now. This honestly, if he doesn't get out of this quick, might be his last inning. So, yeah, not a great outing so far for Senga, even though he's only given up the 1 run. Now it's 3-0. Not great. Not loving this inning. Not loving the last 2 innings here from Senga. And he walked him. So 4-pitch walk there to load the bases now. Yeah, Senga has completely lost his command here. He's given up a couple of hits, and he's kind of losing his control and confidence. Not loving how this is going right now. if this is a big inning for the Diamondbacks, it's tough for the Mets to come back in a game where they just seem like they don't really care all that much. I've learned by now not to give up on this team. And listen, it's only 1-0. It's not like the game's over. It's 1-0 in the fourth inning. But these are just the kind of games that I struggle. I struggle to watch sometimes because I just know the offense is asleep right now. And maybe they'll wake up in the seventh inning or the eighth inning. But right now, the offense is just sleeping. And this kind of happens too often, in my opinion. For an offense this good, to just be asleep, for Lindor, Soto, Alonso just to, I don't know. It hasn't been, they haven't been consistent enough for long enough stretches so far this year. Got a generous call to get strike one there. He needed it. Hasn't thrown too many strikes in this inning. Bases loaded here, 1 out, 1-0 Diamondbacks, and he throws it in the dirt. Yep, 77 pitches with 1 out in the inning, bases loaded. Not great here. But a double play, and it completely changes the outlook. So let's get a double play. Nope, another ball in the dirt. So it's 2-1 now. Senga's completely lost his command. And I'm assuming this is probably going to be his last inning because he's going to be at over 80 pitches. And after struggling for the last 2 innings, I just have a feeling this is going to be Senga's last inning if he can get out of it. He pops him up. Vientos makes the catch, and now there's 2 outs. Bases are still full, but now we have 2 outs. Just need one more out here. Keep it at 1-0. Limit the damage. And the bats should wake up in the next inning, hopefully. Let's hope those bats wake up. But we do have Corbin Carroll coming to the plate. Their best hitter, the Diamondbacks' best hitter. I don't like that graphic. Does that say he has 3 grand slams already this year? All right, ball 1. Up. Ball 2 in the dirt. He's got nothing. Senga's really struggling right now. Struggling with that command. I mean, the fortunate thing, he's got 2 outs now in the inning, so. And there's a strike on a foul ball. 2-1 count. Carroll at the plate. Bases loaded. Top of the 4th. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Carroll fouls another ball off. It's 2-2 now. 1 strike away from getting out of this with limited damage. Would love to just get out of this with 1 run given up. Oof. Fouled it off. Just got a piece of it there. Stays 2-2. Sorry. Fouling off a lot of pitches. They've been doing it against Senga so far. They've been working counts on him, making him throw a lot of pitches. And now at 84 pitches, I would assume, even if he gets out of this, this is his last inning. He's not going to be coming out for the 5th. So obviously that's not a great thing. He fouls another one off. I mean, he's barely getting anything. He's barely getting a piece of these pitches. Yeah, I'm not loving this inning, if you could tell. Ball 3-3-2 now. Full count, bases loaded. Nowhere to put him. You got to throw a strike here. You got to try to get him out. Long fly ball, deep left field. Nimmo going back. Ooh, he jumps and makes the catch. Nice play by Nimmo. Beautiful play by Nimmo there. Oof. So Nimmo just saved the day, guys. That had trouble written all over it. I thought it was going out. It wouldn't have been a home run. It would have been off the wall, but still, he saved the day there. He saved 3 runs on that catch. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. They still have not started the new inning. We got Winker, Vientos, and Nimmo coming up in this inning to try to get back that run that the Mets gave up in the top of the 4th. Let's see if this works on the TV. It hasn't worked yet, but maybe the stream will be better on the TV, or more caught up at least. Nope. I don't know why it says blacked out. I'm having so many issues with this MLB app. Alright, so Winker steps in now. Alright, Winker up at the bat. He's got a 1-1 count here. Yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think they're going to come back in this game? I mean, they have just not been very good at the plate so far. Winker now down 1-2 after fouling a pitch straight back. Winker strikes out on an up and in fastball. Not a great way to start the inning after going down 1-0 in a very long inning. You kind of just bat at bat there. Gallen's a good pitcher, and it's going to be tough to hit him, but that's no excuse. You have a good offense too. So, and other people have hit him. Other people have hit Gallen this year, and the Mets are just unable to right now. They're showing some stats by Gallen. Since 2022, he's had the most wins in Major League Baseball with 43. He's got 3.20 ERA, so he's a really good pitcher. And right now, the Mets have let him get comfortable in this game. He's just cruising right now. It's 0-2 on Vientos. And now that's a strike 3 tipped into the glove. So these are just uncompetitive at bats right now. They're not interested. This is just, you could tell what's going to happen in this game already. The Mets will threaten, but it's going to come in the 9th inning. And now you have Genesis Cabrera warming up. Recently just called up today to be the new lefty in the bullpen. Hopefully he works out. He's a guy who has some talent, and he pitched for the Blue Jays And he at times he looked really good, and at times he's looked really bad. So we saw him in spring training. He pitched well in the beginning of spring training, then kind of fizzled out towards the end. Now he got Nimmo up. He's already down 0-1 in the count. Nimmo's just been such a weird player this year. 0-2 now with the foul back. He's just mowing the Mets down right now. Gallen is just comfortable in this game. Uh, they were forcing him to throw a lot of pitches in the first couple of innings, and ever since, he's just been mowing him down. And it seems like that's the way this game's going to go until they maybe start working some better at bats. Finally throws a ball upstairs, 1-2. Nimmo goes down swinging. Gallen just mowing him down at this point. Mets are just completely disinterested in this game. And they do this too often. I keep saying it. They do this constantly. The offense just goes to sleep for innings and games at a time. And it's just... It's frustrating because they have the pieces. They have the guys to do it. They just have these games. And the crazy thing is they'll end up going down 3-0 in this game, and then in the 8th inning they'll decide to start to wake up and hit, or in the 9th inning they'll just decide to wake up and hit, and by then it's too late, and you're facing great pitchers, and you're facing closers, and then it's too late, and maybe you'll scratch out a run. I hate to be pessimistic, but we've all seen this before. This is one of those games. This is just one of those games that they do not seem interested whatsoever. Yeah, I think Elvin's just into Beatty. I disagreed with him at the time. I don't see bringing up Beatty. I think that Beatty was definitely a better defender than Vientos, but yeah, Beatty kind of showed he wasn't ready. Although he was hitting much better before he went out, before he got sent down. I think in his last 7 games he was hitting like 380 with a 400 something OPS or on base percentage. So he was hitting better. And I think in his first game in the minors he had like 2 doubles in the first 4 innings. So he's a great minor league player. I just don't really see him playing for the Mets again. I think he's going to end up getting traded as a piece, whether it's for a reliever or he's part of a bigger package for another starting pitcher around the deadline, something like that. But I don't really see Beatty going forward as a Met, honestly. But also D Rels, I know that you're a big Beatty hater. I've seen you on my comments before. I know you're a Beatty hater. I'm not as much of a Beatty hater, and I know Elvin obviously likes to see Beatty. So we'll have our different opinions on guys, but I think it's pretty clear at this point Beatty's just not going to be part of the Mets' future. Got Cabrera. He has not been great in AAA so far this year. Almost an 8 ERA. But listen, when you got injuries, you're going to have to call these guys up and see what they can do in the majors. Like I said, with the Blue Jays, he has been fine. Like, he has had seasons where he's been okay. He's had stretches where he's been okay. He's one of those guys. He's a lefty. He's a bullpen piece. Sometimes these guys are great. Sometimes they're terrible. And you can never tell when that's going to happen. But it looked... Ooh. Soto almost lost that ball in the sun, but that is out number 1. Nice, easy fly ball there for Cabrera. And now you have Pavin Smith coming up. That would have been bad if Soto dropped that ball. He lost one of those earlier. I think in Washington, he lost the ball in the sun. Everyone was having problems with the sun in that game, but this would have been a bad one. So 1 out now. We have nobody on base. Inside pitch. I mean, Cabrera throws hard. 97. Probably, I mean, I don't really know a ton about Cabrera. I know he was a guy that many people were excited about when the Mets signed him to a minor league deal, just because they thought, get that guy in the pitching lab. He has good stuff. He throws hard. I don't know. He just seems like a guy to me. Maybe like who was that guy last year? I forget his name. The Japanese pitcher who throws like 102 miles an hour that the Mets had, and they kind of just stashed in their minor leagues for the whole year, and then he got hurt. I forget his name. But maybe he's a guy like that. He ends up being a guy like that for the Mets where they can't really fix him, and he has great stuff, but it never materializes. We'll have to see. Now he's 3-0 on Smith here. 3-1. So yeah, he has good stuff. He's never really put it together. Yeah, I agree in a lot of ways, David. This is one of those games where if you've watched enough Met games, and especially these day game getaway days, you kind of know. You could just see where this one's going, and they're going to come alive in the 9th or the 8th, and it's going to be too late. But I agree with you, David. This is one of those ones that might end up getting bad. But I don't know. I've also learned to never give up on the Mets right now, the way that they've been playing and how they come through late in games. So we'll see. But I do agree with your sentiment there. Cabrera walks Smith to bring up Josh Naylor. Yeah, I just think there's too many walks by this pitching staff lately, and they're just getting behind everyone, and their ERA is still good. They still lead the majors in ERA, but eventually all these base runners and all these walks and everything kind of come back to bite you. And eventually they will. All right, so that's 5 in a row outside the strike zone. It's 1-0. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough with Minter out. We just don't have a lefty in the bullpen. We're trying to make Cabrera that at this point. I don't know that he will be. Maybe we'll catch some lightning in a bottle with him, but that's a long fly ball. Oh. I don't know if that's a double or a home run. It looked like it hit off the top of the wall and came back in. Soto should have had that. That was Soto's ball all the way. I thought that was a home run. I thought that was going to bounce. I thought that was going over the wall. But that should have been Soto's ball. Soto's having a problem with the sun. He's wearing sunglasses. I don't know how you have an issue with the sun. Yeah, Soto's just not a very good outfielder, but I don't understand the review. I mean, I guess whatever. I thought the rule was if it bounced off the top of the wall and bounced in. Yeah, that didn't hit anything beyond the wall, so that shouldn't be a home run. And guys, I see both of your points on this, D-Rels and David, but I, I do agree that the players at the end of the day are the ones who have to get the hits. They're the ones who have to go do it. But if the hitting coaches aren't teaching having a good approach. Like, I really think that a lot of Nimmo's problems has been with the hitting coaches and them changing his approach at the plate, trying to make him into more of a power hitter instead of a guy like he used to be, where he was someone who would take walks and he would hit the ball just hard somewhere. It wasn't about hitting home runs, and I think their approach in a lot of ways just hasn't been great. Now, you can also say, well, Lindor's been great and Alonso's been great, but I can see why you would think it's the coaches. You know what I mean? Like, if they're changing guys' approach for a negative way, because, and I don't think it's just them, I think it's a baseball issue, because they're teaching guys to just hit the ball in the air, launch angle, and exit velo, and all that stuff, but they're taking hitters that aren't necessarily those type of hitters and trying to make them into those type of hitters, and I think that hurts players overall. Nimmo's a completely different player than he was 2 or 3 years ago. And I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse. We'll find out. But right now, it's kind of for the worse. So I think it's both, right? There's some players who just can't get it done or aren't getting it done right now. But there's also some bad approaches that come from coaching. So it's really both. It's both things. You're kind of both right in your own way. All right, we go into commercial here. Kranick is coming in to replace Cabrera. Runners on second and third. Not a great start to the inning here. 1 out. Let's hope Kranick can get something done here. Who do we have coming up? Eugenio Suarez, who has 10 home runs. I mean, this is a big test for Kranick. Kranick has been great this year, but in a lot of ways he's done it against inferior lineups, and we're going to see now, he's facing some good hitters here, so I'm hoping he comes through. I really like Kranick. I think he's done great. I think this is a good situation to really test him, and we'll see what he does, but I think I'm a big fan of Kranick so far this year. The pitching has been great overall. Other than a couple guys in the bullpen, like, who's been bad on this pitching staff? I couldn't name a guy who's been bad. Maybe Stanek lately in his last 3 outings, but there's been nobody that's been terrible. You look around the league and every team has a reliever who has an ERA in the 9s. The Mets don't have that, All right, first pitch to Suarez is a strike in the top of the zone there, 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Kranick. Just a strikeout would be great here. Yeah, either way, that the ball they keep the play they keep showing, that was Soto's ball. Suarez hits a ball to deep center that'll get a run in, and it will move the runner to third. So it's 2-0 Diamondbacks with 2 outs here. Runner on third. Not a great inning. But listen, you give up 2 runs, the Mets should be able to score more than 2 runs. So it's time to go out and hit. And, well, let's get out of this inning first. Let's not give up another run. Let's keep it at 2-0. You should be able to score 3 runs in a game. So they need to go out and win this game. There's no 2 ways about it. They need to stop with the malaise that they're in right now. Too good an offense to look this bad at times. Strike 1 here on Gurriel. Yeah, so I don't think Cabrera is necessarily going to be our answer for a lefty out of the bullpen. after the outing he had today. But listen, this is also an issue of Senga not getting deep into games, and the Mets pitching, starting pitching in general, not getting deep. You're having to go deep into your bullpen, and yeah, that's not gonna be beneficial for you through an entire season. They need to start learning how to get guys out quicker in counts, not going 3-2. Yeah, the Mets do have a killer mentality, but it's there's games like this, especially, and it always happens to be day games on a getaway day. They just seem uninterested. And yes, I agree 100%. They're gonna come to life in the eighth inning, and that's what they do in all of these type games. By the way, Gurriel grounded out here, got out of the inning 2-0. Really good work by Kranick there. So I agree with you, D-Rails. They do have a killer mentality, but they have to do it more throughout the game and not just in the eighth inning do it. Right now they look completely disinterested. They're even saying it on the broadcast. Gary's saying it. They seem like they're going at half speed. I don't know what you mean that there. I don't know if you're talking to me or David, but yeah. So 2-0 now going into the bottom of the fifth. The Mets will have the bottom of the order coming up. Torrens, McNeil, Taylor. Uh, Try to get these runs back. Obviously, it's only 2-0. The Mets could easily make up this difference in a few batters. Just have to go out there and do it. And I also wonder, too, we heard about Nimmo being sick, and I think Winker was sick before that. Is the team just like kind of sick right now, and they're just not feeling it? And maybe there's a few guys that are playing right now that aren't feeling so well. I don't know. They definitely feel like they're playing at half speed right now, especially offensively. Pitchers are trying, and when I say they're not trying or going at half speed, I don't mean that they're. I don't think that they are not trying or they're not attempting to go full speed. It's just that their head's not necessarily in it right now. They're going they're worried about getting on a plane. They're worried about going to St. Louis. So it's not that they're just not locked in. They're not trying to go half speed. They don't have their heads all the way in it. And then once the bell rings and it becomes late in the game and you start going up against the bullpen, they always seem to wake up. And that's kind of the issue I have. Instead of them being locked in the whole game, they wait until it's late. All right, one pitch, one out. Torrens grounds out to third base. We also have to give credit to Gallen here. He has not been great this year, but he is a really good pitcher. And he would probably do this to a lot of teams, although he hasn't done it to a lot of teams this year. And this is an important game. You want to take 2 out of 3. McNeil up, takes a first pitch, fastball for a strike. Second pitch fouls it off. Yes, I agree with you. The Mets do waste way too many opportunities. McNeil fouls another one off. You don't have to apologize, David. You can rant here as much as you want. You can comment whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Strikeout by McNeil. Using that torpedo bat. We have Tyrone Taylor coming to the plate with 2 outs. He's down 1-0 in the account already. I mean, up 1-0, sorry. Now it's 1-1. Taylor 1-1 here. Ooh, hits the ball hard right at Gurriel, and that ends the inning. Yeah, so they don't answer back in the 5th. They still have a few opportunities left. They still have 4 innings to try to come back and win this game. It's only 2-0, but seems like one of those games. I'm guessing, I didn't see anyone warming in the bullpen, so I'm guessing Kranick is going to stay in and continue his outing. They like to use him for multiple innings, and he's done well until they try to make him go 3, and then he struggles a little bit, but get another inning out of Kranick here after you've got not even close to enough from Senga, so... Yeah, I think Jeff McNeil's been pretty decent, honestly, since coming back. He's... I have issues with Jeff McNeil because I think his mentality hurts the team in some ways. I think he doesn't fit in well with this current group. And I think that it's not his hitting ability necessarily. It's when he doesn't get hits, we all know he's upset and angry. And I think that whole thing when Lindor first got here with McNeil, I think they don't mesh well. And I think McNeil just doesn't, other than with Pete Alonso, like who is a good friend of his, I don't see McNeil as a guy who fits in with this locker room. I think they did try to trade him in the offseason, and really just nobody wanted him. I mean, he makes $15 million this year, and people just didn't want to deal with kind of his headache. I know last year we got Happy Jeff and all that, and I really don't have an issue with his hitting necessarily, especially over the second half of last year until he got hurt. And then so far since he's come back, I mean, he's had a couple hits. He's had a couple big hits. But I just don't know that he's long for this team. I think Acuna's going to take over that second base spot eventually. And really the only reason I think McNeil's still even playing is because of his contract. And that's really it. But he does lengthen this lineup. This lineup, if McNeil and Alvarez are hitting, is incredibly deep. And just right now, I hated Alvarez's at bat last night. As Thomas grounds out to first base. Quick first out for Kranick here in the 6th inning. But yeah, I think McNeil will eventually be gone. Yeah, but I didn't love Alvarez's at bat last night in the 9th. He looked overmatched. Maybe it's just a matter of him needing more at bats and getting healthy and getting back into the swing of major league, hitting. Even that home run he hit when he first came back was an opposite field home run. He kind of just snuck it over the wall into right field. He was just late on the pitch, and he was just strong enough to kind of muscle it over the wall. I just haven't loved him since he's gotten back. And yeah, they could have a very deep, solid lineup if those guys start to hit. 1-0 on Tawa here. Kranick still in the game. 1 out. Top of the 6th. 2-0. This is a nice little job of Kranick here, kind of coming in and settling the game as Tawa flies one out to right center. Oh, Soto called for it. Taylor stepped in front of him and made the catch. Yeah, I don't think they really trust Soto out there to make these catches, especially because he's been losing everything in the sun. So I understand Taylor coming in and making that catch. Probably doesn't make Soto very happy, but who cares? Catch the ball. Cut right in front of him. we got Herrera up here. And there's strike one. Strike one. Looked like a ball to me. Yeah, good call. Good call for the Mets there. Got the strike. Like I said earlier, this umpire, he has not been great today, but he's been calling it fair. He's been calling bad pitches for both sides, so you can't complain about the umpiring. Fouled off. 0-2. 92 mile an hour, 91 mile an hour slider. All right, 0-2 pitch. Pop up. Foul territory. Vientos makes the catch, and the Mets get out of the inning. Perfect. Nice inning for Kranick there to really come in and settle it down. Really came in after a bad start in some ways by Senga, and then a bad start to the inning by Cabrera to really settle it down, limit the damage, and yeah, really nice work by Kranick there. All right, in this inning, we have the top of the order coming up, Lindor, Soto, Alonso. This would be a really nice time to get the bats going. You know, let's do something here. I'm sick of waiting for it, especially with Soto. I know he's done a lot of great things, and he's getting his walks and all that, but can we have a big moment? Let's see. I'd love to see Lindor get on base, and then Soto hit one out. First home run of the year at Citi Field for Soto. That would be nice. Yes, absolutely. Kranick has been a badass. He's been. I just. There's a couple guys on this team where you start to think, like, where would we be without them? And in the bullpen right now, it's two of the guys that you didn't even know were going to make the team, and that's Kranick and Brazaban. Those two guys have been unbelievable. And then you have your guys like Diaz, who struggled, and Stanek, who struggled. Where would they be without Kranick and Brazaban? And Brazaban, we hated. He was in the minor leagues half the time he was with the Mets last year because he was awful. And Kranick, he was on the postseason roster after we didn't see him all year, and he didn't even get in the game. So, yeah, I don't know where he would be without these two guys. And then offensively, obviously, Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. You expect those guys. You don't expect Brazaban and Kranick. Anyone here, guys, please, if you haven't already, please like the stream so that we get boosted a little bit more and maybe a few more people get in here. But yeah, like it if you're not subscribed, which I'm sure all of you who are here probably are. If you're not, just subscribe. And give me your comments. Doesn't have to just be me talking. You guys talk too. All right, first pitch to Lindor is a strike on a curveball. Pitch up at the top of the zone that Lindor swings through. It's 0-2. Thank you, David. 2-2 to Lindor here. I'm just kind of going off of this thing because my stream on MLB app is so far behind that I have to go off the thing on the screen here. Thanks, David. I appreciate that. "75 pitches here through 5+ innings for the Diamondbacks. I mean for Gallen. You would have liked to maybe raise his pitch count in this inning. Even if we don't score, let's get him out of the game. Strikes out Lindor. I mean, it was a good at bat by Lindor. I can't. He just swung at a ball in the dirt. Not what you love to see. You just need to get some hits here. Get a little excitement in this game. All right, we got Soto up here. I mean, if we can get 15 more pitches on Gallen here, it can make it harder for him to go 7. I'd like to just get his pitch count up here. Soto, even if you don't do anything, just work a good at bat. Work a 5, 6, 7 pitch at bat. Oh, Soto. Long fly ball, deep left. Soto finally hits his first home run in Citi Field. Wow. That's a relief. Makes it 2-1. The Mets are still down, but Soto, the big home run, maybe that's the big hit he needed to get going. Maybe it's the big hit the Mets needed to get going in this game. Maybe it sparks them. Maybe it gets them going here a little bit. I'm sure if Soto is so happy, that's a weight off his shoulders. I'm sure he was stressing a little bit, thinking he wasn't gonna ever hit at Citi Field, but now he has. He has a home run. That's 1 down. Hundreds more to go in 15 years. So great job by Soto. I don't care that it wasn't a long at bat. I take that back. You don't have to have a long at bat if you hit a home run. Opposite field too. And he's been doing that. He hasn't been able to pull the ball recently, but he has been able to hit the ball hard the other way. And that's generally how you know a great hitter is coming out of it. That's how we knew Pete was going to get off to a great start. He wasn't great from game 1, but he was hitting the ball hard the other way and up the middle. And Soto's been doing that the last few games. So Soto's coming out of it. He's gonna get real hot now. I got a feeling. Get him back in this. Get him back up at the plate. He's gonna do some more damage. Alonso, 1-2 count. That's just great. Love to see it. Love to see Soto finally get his first home run. And Alonso goes, nope, drop third strike, so fouled off. Still a 1-2 count on Alonso. Yeah, I got to start going off this because I'm way behind on my video here. Alonso strikes out. Hey, got one run. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th. We've got Winker coming up to the plate. And there's 1-0 to Winker here. Winker is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. Now it's 2-0 to Winker. Yeah, Winker's been kind of up and down. He's had those big moments, and that's, I think, what his role is here, is be that vibes guy. 3-0 now to Winker. And this is good. Work that count against Gallen. Let's get him out of the game. He's at 87 pitches now. If Winker gets on here and then the next batter has a 5-pitch or 6-pitch at bat, even if you don't score another run this inning, he's probably not coming back out for the 7th. And there goes a walk for Winker. So let's work the count here. We have Vientos coming up. He has not looked great today against Gallen. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. But I would love to see him, even if he doesn't do anything, work 5 or 6 pitches here. Get him up into the 90s in his pitch count. Get him out of the game. Got Herrera out there talking to Gallen. And Vientos has been hot lately. You know, I'm liking the way Vientos has been playing. He's tapping into some of that power. If Vientos can really start to be that power threat, hitting behind, Alonso, Winker, it could start giving those guys even more of a chance. And maybe Nimmo, I know he had that big game, but he hasn't been Nimmo so far. If those guys can get hot, this team can really go far. Not a strike there, but like I said, they've been calling it fair on both sides. So 0-1 on Vientos. Vientos calls a timeout. Yeah, I don't always love Vientos in this spot. I know last year in the playoffs he was great in crunch time. Um, he hasn't been this year. He's gotten a lot of at bats with runners in scoring position, bases loaded, all kinds of stuff, and just he struggled to come through. He did have one big hit. I think he had a bases clearing double in the Washington series on a bases loaded situation. And Vientos grounds it to third, and it's going to be an easy play there for the Diamondbacks to get out of the inning. So they don't work the count there like I would have liked on Gallen. He gets out of the sixth inning at 90 pitches. But they do score a run on Juan Soto's first home run for the Mets at Citi Field. Obviously, huge deal. He needed that. It's going to get him going. I really feel, I've been saying it for like 10 days that he's about to get going. And every day he just makes it more clear that he's hitting the ball hard. He's doing what he needs to do. It's just not falling for him. It's finding, he's hitting at 113 miles an hour right into someone's glove. So I'm just happy to see him hit his first one. Maybe it takes some of the weight off his shoulders. He can relax and breathe a little bit and really start to get hot and do what we all expect him to do. That's the goal. That's the plan. Hopefully that home run makes that happen. Well, on SNY, they're showing Marte's walk-off. I could do without seeing Marte very much anymore. I love Marte for his veteran leadership, and I know he's like good friends with Soto, and they seem to be really close, and I think it's a lot of the reason why Marte's even still on the team to try to make Soto comfortable, but I just don't want to see him play very much anymore. I just don't see him as a very good play. He looks a little old and broken. I know he had a home run the other night, but I'm not a huge Marte guy at this point. I have a feeling at some point this year he'll probably get DFA'd. I hate to see it because I do like Marte, and he's been a really good major league player over his career, and he for his first year with the Mets he was good. He's just an injury-plagued guy, an older player, and yeah, I just don't see him lasting for him. This is obviously his last season here, and I have a feeling at some point he'll probably get DFA'd. Yeah, I mean, you see that Juan Soto has the two hardest hit balls here today. Ground out and a home run are the two hardest hit balls in this whole game. So you could say Soto's not playing well. You could say he's not doing what he can, but he just hit that home run, and he hits the ball hard every time up. So you have to take the good with the bad when you're hitting the ball hard. Kranick is still in the game here, trying to go for two. If he finishes this inning, it'll be 2 2/3. So tough. You gotta keep with your hot hand, I guess. And he's up 1-2 on Carroll. I mean, this is the top of the order too. This is the part of the lineup that can do some damage against you. I don't necessarily. I don't know if we're gonna go the whole inning. We'll see what happens. He hasn't done well when he's gone 3 innings. So 2-2. That's a strikeout for Kranick on Corbin Carroll. Listen, Kranick is just awesome. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care that he's not a lefty. He should kind of take that Minter spot for me at this point. I know you need him for multiple innings, especially with this pitching staff that doesn't give you deep, a lot of innings. Kranick is needed in that role, but he should get a more important role at this point later in the game. Strike one to Perdomo. Perdomo 0 for 2 with a walk today. 1-1 count. Two one. Talking about the Cubs on the broadcast right now. Cubs are looking really, really impressive right now. They're a team that I wasn't expecting a lot. A lot of people were into them this season, or coming into this season. Not me, but they're proving me wrong. That's gone. All right, so Kranick gives up a solo homer to Perdomo, make it 3-1. This is why I didn't necessarily want Kranick to continue to pitch. He's already gone 2 innings. It's his third up. Mendoza continues to do this with him and pushing him further and further in games. Yeah, not a fan of keeping him in there, but I get it. You got to do what you got to do. So yeah, it's now 3-1 Diamondbacks off of that solo shot by Perdomo. So then the Diamondbacks answer right back after the Mets score a run. Well, that's got to be wrong. The screen just says that Kranick threw a 104.7 mile an hour slider. I doubt that. I mean, it says it on SNY too, so yeah, that has to be wrong. He throws his fastball 96, 97. I don't think he throws his slider 105. It's 1-2 now to Smith. Man, that really just took the wind out of their sails. That solo home run after scoring a run, you give it right back. That really just... that really kills your momentum there. But that happens in the major leagues. Listen, you make one bad pitch, and it doesn't come back. That's what happens. He strikes out Smith here to make it 2 outs in the 7th. I mean, Kranick is already about to throw his 30th pitch in this game. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings. I don't love him. I don't love them. I love Mendoza. I think he's a really good manager, and I think eventually these mistakes won't necessarily happen, but I have not liked his use of the bullpen lately. You're stretching Kranick to 3 innings, and even last night with Diaz. Why is Diaz warming up and ready to go, and then you stick with what was the guy's name last night? The pitcher that they ended up sending down. Whatever. You stick with a guy who's a minor leaguer when you're only down by 1 run. It makes no sense to me. When your closer's ready and hasn't pitched for 3 days, I don't know. Well, they get out of the inning. Kranick gives up the 1 home run. It's now 3-1 Diamondbacks heading to the bottom of the 7th. The Mets have 3 more chances to try to win this game, make up the 2-run difference. Yeah. 145. Yeah, I don't know what that was, because it said it on SNY and on the MLB app that he threw that slider 105 miles an hour. I know it wasn't, because I watched it. It didn't look like 105 miles an hour. Yeah, so 3 more innings. We have Nimmo, Torrens, and McNeil coming up here. So getting towards the bottom of the order, let's get a couple runs. Let's get back in the game. Let's tie it at least. Even if you just get a run. You scored a run, the Diamondbacks answered right back. Now you answer right back. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know. I don't know if anyone was warming up in the pen. I'm hoping Gallon's out of this game, but probably not. I think he was at 90 pitches. I think he'll at least start this inning. But let's knock him out. Let's make him throw 10 pitches real quick to the first batter. Let's have a 10 pitch first at bat by Nimmo. Although Nimmo has not been working counts like that, so more likely than not, we're going to see him down 0-2 in the count because that's what he's been doing. I shouldn't be so pessimistic. This team's been really good. But it's hard when you watch a game like this where they just show nothing. Wonder what Twitter's saying about the Soto home run. Oh, Zach Gallen is not starting the inning here in the 7th. Okay, they took him out at 90 pitches. That's kind of a break for the Mets. He was mowing them down, except for that Soto home run. So, I mean, he only gave up two hits on the game. 2 hits, 1 run for Gallen, and he's out of the game at 90 pitches. Nimmo hits one hard to left field, but left fielder's right there to make the catch. And we got Torrens coming to the plate. I mean, you see that's the approach that I was talking about with Nimmo. He used to work counts. That a two pitch fly ball. He used to work counts, get on base. Was a very high on base percentage guy. Now he's just looking to hit for power. Which, if it works, fine. But it's not really working, other than one game. One out here in the bottom of the 7th. Torrens at the plate. And it's a quick 2-strike count to Torrens. So the bullpen with Thompson's coming in and throwing strikes right away. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. I guess be careful what you wish for. We want a Gallen out of this game, and now he comes in and looks pretty good right off the bat. So ball 1, 1-2. Reed Garrett warming up in the bullpen for the Mets. He'll be pitching the 8th inning. And he's going to be the setup guy right now, I think, because the foul ball by Torrens. There is, with Minter out and Stanek struggling, Garrett needs to get those opportunities. He probably should have been anyway. I mean, this guy hasn't given up an earned run yet this year. And I think they've liked to use him in those situations where he can come in with runners on base and strand the runners. But honestly, he needs to be in those high stress situations because he's been their best relief pitcher. He should be in there. All right, it's now 2-2 on Torrens. McNeil on deck, who is 0 for 2 today. And Torrens strikes out on an inside sinker. So 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Guy come in and he's thrown 8 pitches, gotten 2 outs. Guess maybe Gallen being in the game wasn't so bad. This guy's a submarine kind of, not a submarine, but a sidearm kind of throwing pitcher. Looks like he's really tough against righties. He's the guy they brought in, I believe, the other night for Pete Alonso. So we got McNeil at the plate. First pitch gets a base hit through the second and first base hole. It's what McNeil likes to do. First jump on the first pitch of the at bat, and he gets on base here in the bottom of the 7th. It's only the Mets' 3rd hit of the game. So yeah, any hit is nice right now when you only got 3 of them, and you're in the 7th inning. So now we have Taylor coming to the plate right now. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a lineout. And pitch number 1 is a strike. I like Taylor in this spot. Taylor comes through a lot, late innings. Might not be a great hitter, but I don't know. I trust him in a big spot for some reason. He's been pretty good. Love his defense. 0-2 now for Taylor. This guy's got a good slider. A lot of movement on it. I mean, I'm not a pitching expert. I don't know if the advanced metrics will tell you that his slider's not good or something, but it looks good to me. Ball 1, 1-2. That slider. He almost chased it, but he held up. Here comes the 1-2 to Taylor. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. He strikes out, swinging, and that is the end of the 7th inning. We go to the 8th. Reed Garrett will come in to pitch for the Mets. Well, at least we have the top of the order coming up in the next inning. Lindor, Soto, Alonso will bat in the 8th. That is going to be their best chance to get back in and take the lead. Yeah, you could tell right off the bat this was going to be one of those games. One of those games where the offense goes to sleep. I know they've been pretty good so far this year. I mean, overall, they've been great, but you could just tell those games that they're not going to perform well. And this was one of them. But do they have more of that late inning magic left in them? We'll see. I know enough not to doubt them anymore. They tend to come back and at least make it interesting. Whether they win or not, who knows? Yeah, maybe David, but honestly, they just are different in the 9th inning. Like I don't know what kind of voodoo thing they have, or if they made a deal with the devil or what, but there's 2 things that the Mets are good at, and that is late innings and finding pitchers out of nowhere and making them into really good major league pitchers. So if as long as those 2 things keep happening, I'll stay happy. I'm not going to panic on a game like this because I didn't expect much coming in. I still want to get the win. I still want them to come through and get the win in this game, but right now it's not looking great. I try to stay positive as much as possible. Sometimes it's tough. You know, if you've been a Met fan as long as I have, how this goes, how this type of game goes. You can see it from the first inning. Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you, though. I feel the same way. So Garrett is in. His first pitch is down for a ball. Good pitch, though. Second pitch is a strike. 1-1, top of the 8th. Suarez at the plate with his 10 home runs on the season. Dangerous hitter. Third pitch inside. 96-mile-an-hour fastball inside. And it is a 2-1 count. Fourth pitch is fouled off. It is a 2-2 count now. Garrett, here he is, 2-2 count. It's a ball inside. Full count now. Top of the eighth. Nobody out. 3-2 count for Reed Garrett. Three-two count on Suarez. And he strikes out on an inside pitch. It was ball 4, but it was a nice pitch. Yeah, I like Garrett in this spot. Garrett needs to get more of these opportunities. Like they were just saying, he has not allowed an inherited runner to score. He's also not allowed an earned run this year. So I really think Garrett has been their best reliever so far this year. And why he was coming in the 5th and 6th inning, I understand it's because of inherited runners and all that. Gurriel hits one to center field. Looks like an easy play for Tyrone Taylor. That's the second out of the inning. So, hey, if he can get through this inning quick with the top of the order coming up in the 8th, hopefully Diaz is available in the 9th. I don't know what the problem is. I understand he had that little injury or whatever it was, but he's still on the roster. He's still warming up. Yesterday he warmed up to come in and never came in. Yeah, but he does well, David. He's got 10 home runs already this year. He's always been one of those dangerous guys. He doesn't hit for a lot of power or a lot of average, but he mashes home runs. He's one of the best home run hitters in baseball. But yeah, I get what you mean. 0-2 count on Gurriel here. Would be a nice quick inning here if he can get if Garrett can get him out here. Alec Thomas here with a 1-2 count against Reed Garrett. Oof. Alec Thomas swings at a ball above his head for a strikeout, and the Mets go into the bottom of the 8th, down 3-1 with their big boys coming up. Lindor, Soto, Alonso. It's the time to make your comeback. This is the time. If you're going to do it, now is the time. I do have faith and confidence in the bottom of the order too, but this is your big boys coming up. You got to go out there and make it happen here. I don't know who's going to be pitching for the Diamondbacks. I hate they never show the bullpens. I wish they kind of knew who was coming in, but of course the Diamondbacks are without their closer as of right now because AJ Puck is injured and will be for a little while. So we saw their closer last night, and he just didn't have it against the Mets. Maybe he comes back in today. I don't know. But if you're going to do it, this is the time. I think the problem with these day games during the week especially is there's just not as many people there, and I think the Mets team, especially at home, really feeds off the crowd, and there's just not the same level of crowd there, and maybe it's a more subdued crowd. At night it's a little different. It's a more party atmosphere. During the day, people are just hanging out, maybe having a beer and a hot dog. They're not really that into the game. It's just a nice day to go out to the ballpark. Especially today, it's a nice sunny day out. I just think they don't have the same level of intensity in a game like this. But that sometimes changes in the 8th and 9th inning, so let's hope that happens today. Let's have a nice at-bat by Lindor here. Get on base any way you can. And let's bring Soto back to the plate, who hit a home run in his last at-bat. And maybe he's feeling really good. And I'd love to see him with a chance to tie the game. Even if he doesn't tie it, just get on base too. And then you got Pete behind him who also can, give you the lead. That's why the Mets lineup is so dangerous. Because hey, you got Lindor out, now you got Soto. You got Soto out, now you got Pete. Yes, after that maybe they're not as dangerous, but they're deep. Vientos, Nimmo, Torrens, or Alvarez. Kevin Ginkel in the game for the Diamondbacks, and he quickly is behind 1-0 against Lindor. Just get on base, Lindor. It's now 2-0. Let's get on base, Lindor. That's all we need. We don't need you to hit a home run. Just get on base. A walk is as good as a hit here. That's a strike right down the middle that Lindor takes. 2-1. Soto on deck. Adcock is getting ready for the ninth. Why is Adcock up? Seems like a punt. And Lindor strikes out looking. Don't know what you're looking at. It's a fastball. I understand maybe you're looking for off speed, but it's a fastball really close to the middle of the plate, and you look at it. Now we have Soto coming up with the bases empty. It would honestly be the most Mets thing ever if they've been winning all these games without Soto being Soto. And imagine if he hits another home run here and he hits 2 home runs in the game and then they lose. Is there more of a Met thing than that? Soto is now down 0-2 on 2 really close pitches inside. Soto did not like either of them, did not think either of them were strikes, but they were both called strikes. I tend to trust Juan Soto when it comes to the strike zone, and usually the umpires do too, but not in this case. And there's a ball. It's 1-2 to Soto. Soto's always going to make the pitcher work. He's always going to put together a good at bat. Even though he's down 0-2, probably get to 2-2, 3-2. He doesn't just give up an at bat just because he's down 0-2. There's a foul ball. Still 1-2. Soto stands in 1-2. Bottom of the 8th, Mets down 3-1. There's ball 2. It's 2-2. Everything's up and in so far except for one pitch to Soto. You tell they're pitching him up and in. There's a foul ball. Still will stay 2-2 here on Soto. Pete Alonso on deck. Just get on base, Soto. And that's a ball. 3-2 to Juan Soto. This is what he does. He just wears out the pitcher. He wears out the pitcher. We haven't seen that Soto shuffle much this year, only a couple times. Would like to see some more of the Soto shuffle. That's when he's feeling really good at the plate. Another foul ball. And it's gonna get out. Okay, got into the stands. Three-two pitch here to Soto. This is what he does. He's gonna wear out the pitcher. You could say what you want. He hasn't been Soto this year, but he does know how to wear out a pitcher. Ninth pitch of the at-bat to Juan Soto. Did he get another one? He did. Second home run of the game for Juan Soto. Wow. Wow. Well, I guess you can say that he's starting to heat up. The Mets are now down 3-2 after the solo home run by Juan Soto here in the bottom of the eighth. His second home run of the game, and he's gonna get hot now. I'm telling you right now. You're about to see. You wanted to see Juan Soto. You're about to see Juan Soto. I'm telling you that right now. This is what he needed to get hot. He had two. He did not have a home run in Citi Field before this game. Now he's got two late and clutch situations. He's about to go crazy. Yes, let's go. You could just see it, David. You could see it. I mean, listen, I hope I'm wrong about the other part where I said they're going to lose the game, but you could just see it. He was about to heat up. He's been heating up for 10 days. And when this guy heats up, he's going to start hitting them in bunches. He's going to start carrying the team. And that's what it seems like is happening right now. Now we got Pete Alonso up. He's already up 3-0 in the count. So this pitcher might be a little rattled now after giving up that home run to Soto. This is when you got to get to him. You got to get to him now. And he walks Alonso. So now we have a runner on first, down by one, bottom of the eighth, Winker coming up. I don't know if they have a lefty ready in the bullpen or what they're going to do here. I bet we're going to start to see some Soto shuffles now. He's feeling good. You could tell after, I'm just watching the replay of that home run. You could tell as soon as he hit it, he knew, and he's comfortable now. Now they have Diaz ready to go in the bullpen. Okay. Will they actually use him this time, right? Last night they had him ready and didn't go to him. We'll see. I don't know who's coming up in the next inning for... I don't remember who made the last out for the Diamondbacks. Oh, there is no one up behind him right now. Okay, so this pitcher has the game right now. Ginkel. I like Winker in this spot against a right-handed pitcher. He lives for these kind of moments. He's a vibes kind of guy. I always like him in this spot. Whether or not he comes through, I don't know, but I love Winker up in these spots. I'd much rather have Winker up than Marte. Takes a high strike for strike one. Borderline pitch. Ball one, 1-1 count here on Winker. Got Mark Vientos on deck. Mets always have that magic late. Winker rips one. Oh, just foul. Wow, that was foul by about a foot. I thought Winker was going to be running for days. Oof. Wow, that was close. I thought that was going in the corner. That would have tied the game, even with Pete Alonso running from first. Pete's not a bad runner. You know, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he knows how to run the bases. He's not a lumberer. Winker, long fly ball to left. Ooh, can't get it. Alonso is stopping at third. All right, so double by Winker here. Now we have second and third, one out. Vientos coming up. He hit that ball hard, but honestly, I thought he should have. I thought the center fielder should have caught that ball there. It just went right over his glove. I don't know if he even got leather on it. It looked like he should have made the catch, in all honesty. But I'll take it. Ooh, just over his glove there in left center field. And Alec Thomas is a pretty good outfielder. So obviously Alonso wasn't gonna score on that because he had to hold up to make sure that it wasn't caught. So he kind of held up right around second base. All right, now we have Vientos at the plate. He is currently an 0-1 count after fouling the first pitch off. The Diamondbacks are playing the infield in this situation. I don't know that that's the way to go. Yeah, that's what it was. He took a really bad angle on that ball because it looked off the bat like it was going to be caught. It was either going to be a home run or it was going to be an easy fly ball. Vientos is now down 0-2 in the count after another foul ball. But having the infield in here, up by one with two runners in scoring position, I don't know, a base hit here, the Mets take the lead unless you really trust your outfielder's arms. I don't understand that, but I'm not a baseball manager, so it's 1-2 count here to Vientos. But this is just what they do in the late innings. Even if they don't end up winning this game, this is just what they do. You expect it every single game. They're never just going to go down quietly. Now it's 2-2 to Vientos on a bad pitch outside. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle with Vientos on this. I like Vientos, don't get me wrong. And he was really clutch in the playoffs last year. There's another foul ball. Yep, just foul. That was close to being a home run there by Vientos in the right field corner. Went foul by about 4 or 5 feet. All right, 2-2 to Vientos here. Runners on second and third, 1 out. I'd like to at least get a fly ball to the outfield here just to get the tying run in. And he strikes out. He strikes out on a bad breaking ball that he just couldn't hold up on. Listen, for me, it's easy to say that he shouldn't have swung at that. I would have swung at it too. But I don't get paid to play baseball, so. All right, now we have Nimmo coming up here. Nimmo up at the plate, runners at second and third, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. And strike 1 to start the at-bat. Ball 1, 1-1 count. I mean, you got the guys you want up because you got the lefties going up. You got the lefty going up against the righty here. Nimmo has been hitting better lately. 2-1 now. I wonder if they'll just walk him to get to Torrens at this point. Makes sense. Makes sense just to walk him to get to Torrens. And I like Torrens up in that situation much better than I would like Alvarez, if I'm being honest. I don't love Alvarez in a big spot. He likes to swing for the fences when all you need is a run or two. He's trying to hit a home run, and I like Torrens up in this spot much more than I like Alvarez. But right now, they are pitching to him. It's 3-1, 3-1. Nimmo fouls off a pitch. I guess they're going after him. Come on, Nimmo. 3-2 count, bottom of the eighth here. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Nimmo at the plate. And he strikes out on a fastball right there. Didn't even swing. Just looking at a fastball. Awful. I don't know what they're looking for. Get a fastball down the middle of the plate. This is the second time that they've done this. I don't get it. That's the approach that I was talking about before. Instead of I don't know. I'm not a hitting coach. I'm not a baseball player. But I played baseball when I played Little League baseball. I played middle school baseball. I played high school. I played baseball. But then you have, and when I played, it was like you see the ball, you hit the ball. These guys are guessing. They're just guessing on what pitch they're going to see on any given pitch. And that's why you have fastballs down the middle that they're staring at. In a big situation, 3-2, two guys in scoring position, and you're just staring at the ball go by down the middle of the plate. It's every team. It's not just the Mets. It's everybody. But it's really a bad look. Like, it's just, I don't understand. You're just guessing. You're just up there guessing. To me, you kind of just see the ball, hit the ball. I understand these guys are great pitchers that can throw all different types of pitches and at 100 miles an hour, and I get it. I feel like you should just be able to see the pitch and hit it. What do I know? I'll be right back. Absolutely right. Completely wasted opportunities on a terrible... I mean, it wasn't a terrible at bat, but you just stare at a fastball down the middle? I don't get it. I don't get it. Garrett stays in for the ninth. I don't know if he'll pitch the whole ninth, but at least he'll start the inning. He gets ahead 0-1. Now 0-2. Listen, at this point it doesn't even matter. Like, how do you come back from just wasting that? I'm sure they will, and they'll get a runner on base, and they'll threaten again in the ninth, but it's just... I don't understand. You just stare at a fastball down the middle, whatever. Doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I agree with you a little bit there. Vientos has been pretty bad. Yeah. Nimmo and Vientos. Nimmo, he had that one game, and that saves him for a while for a lot of people. They're not gonna hate on him for a little bit, but it's one game at the end of the day. That well, the Diamondbacks just hit a solo home run, and it is now 4-2. Give up a home run to the 8th hitter in the lineup. This is why I don't understand why Garrett's still in the game. Is there something wrong with Diaz? Like, should we be concerned that he's actually injured? He was warmed up in the last inning, and then they don't use him. To me, there's something wrong with Diaz, and they're just trying to protect him. I don't get it. I really don't understand why. Yeah, that is true. It's his first earned run. But still, he shouldn't have been in there to begin with. I don't understand why he's still in the game. If you had Diaz ready and warmed up. especially after a long inning, a long turn at bat by the Mets, where he's sitting there getting cold. I mean, he wasn't going to go the whole year without giving up a run, so it had to happen eventually. Just didn't want it to be in a one-run game going into the ninth where you've already struggled. Well, maybe Soto will come up in the next inning and hit his third home run of the game. Wouldn't that be nice? He's the only guy in the offense doing anything today. It just takes the wind out of your sails. It really does. It just every time they've scored twice in this game, and the next inning they come in and give up a home run. The next inning makes it so much harder to come back. Yeah, it's true. Every time they blow a chance, the opposition comes and scores an out-on run. You're absolutely right. They just, you know it's going to happen. I try not to be negative, right? This is the new Mets, and I even watched the interview with Steve Cohen the other day when he was on with John Heyman and Joel Sherman, I think, and he was saying how he doesn't care about the past, and he doesn't want fans to care about the past, and he doesn't want to feel like it's the same old Mets. But it still kind of is. Like, you still have that attitude that it's the same old Mets. And I know this stuff happens to every team, and you go through rough stretches, and there's things like this that happen to everyone. But I don't know. It seems like it happens to the Mets more. They can't get out of their own way sometimes. And then sometimes it looks like everything comes up well for them. So, I don't know. I could just be overreacting. But it's really disappointing when you try to fight back, you waste the opportunity, and then the other team just comes out and just takes advantage of their opportunity. Strikeout of Carroll. Carroll has not had a good series. All right, I guess they're letting Garrett get 3 more outs. I don't know why you use Garrett for 2 innings in this game. Oh no, they're gonna go to Ty Adcock. Ty Adcock. What do you mean by that, D-Rolls? Opportunities for who? For what do you mean? Like Mets wasting the opportunities? Or like the Diamondbacks taking advantage of their opportunities? Well, let's hope the Mets get out of this inning. Oh, I'm moving my whole thing here. What do we have coming up? We have Torrens, McNeil, and Taylor. So the bottom of the order will be coming up for the Mets. In the ninth, you get a guy or two on base, and you'll have your big guys coming up. I'd love to see Soto get another opportunity here. I think he is primed to really break out. I mean, I get how you'd say that in some games, right? But overall, they're still. What do you mean? I mean, you could say we just have PTSD, but we're literally watching the same thing you're watching here. We're seeing the exact same thing you're seeing. So like to say that we just have PTSD, I mean, it's still happening. So it's not like you can say like it's just all about the past. It's still continuing to happen. So how is it just PTSD? I can understand if it stopped happening and we all still thought it was going to happen, then you're right. But if it's still happening, how is it only about the past? That's my question. I think it's very important to be honest about things and not just sit here and say like, "Oh, everything's fine and everything's going to be great." I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. I'm just a fan. I'm just a guy who talks about the Mets on the internet, right? I can't do anything. I don't own the team. I don't work for the team. But I also think that like you have to be you have to be realistic about things and you have to talk about bad things when they happen just like you have to talk about good things when they happen. So just wanting to have this rosy disposition about everything is kind of ridiculous. That's not how a real fan is. You complain about the bad and celebrate the good. I don't see a problem with that. There's an issue I think with a lot of Met fans right now, especially like all over social media, where we're just supposed to be appreciative of what we're seeing and we're just supposed to accept even if it's bad, like there's a plan and yeah, I love the plan and I love what they've done over the last year. But does that mean that they're infallible and you're not allowed to say anything negative about them? Like that's the most ridiculous thing that I hear from Met fans all over the place. I'm not saying that I hate them or that they're terrible or that they, that's just it's my opinion on what's happening. And I hate that whole it's like you say something on Twitter and everyone attacks you like how can you not trust Stearns? How can you? It's like I do trust Stearns, but I can say when he's not when I don't think he did something right. Yeah, and I agree with that to a certain extent, but I do think they're going to win. Like, do I think they're going to win a World Series this year? I don't know, but I think they're a playoff team and they're going to be in it and they're going to be fine. I think I don't even think they've hit yet, really. But can they? Do I think that they're great in every aspect of the game? No, and I'm going to say that. And I don't know why people seem to have such a problem with it lately. Well, in this game now, you see that there has now been a hit and a walk by Adcock entering this game. This feels like a punt. Like you're down 4-2, and Mendoza goes to Adcock when he had Diaz warmed up. Diaz, you hope your closer can come in and keep the game 4-2, but instead you bring in Adcock, who just got here today, to try to get the last out here in the ninth. It seems like a punt to me. And Mendoza seems to do that a lot. There's something up with Diaz, because he should have been in this game just to keep it close, to give you a chance to win it in the ninth. Well, obviously it's both. Like, you can have PTSD but still also be watching the same thing. Like, both can be true. Right? Like, if my house got broken into, I would always think, like, is my house going to get broken into? But then, if my house then gets broken into again, and then I say, my house is getting broken into, are you going to be like, that's just PTSD? No, it's also getting broken into. It's both, right? But you can't just say it's just PTSD. What's negative? I don't understand what you're even trying to say. Pointing out things that are wrong is negative? That sounds realistic to me. Oh, sorry. I think I misunderstood you. My fault. I got a little heated on you there. I apologize for that. I understand what you were saying now. And Adcock, once again, is just 3-0 on this hitter. Another punt. Oh, what's going on here? Looked like that he walked another batter, but it turns out that it hit the bat. Thought maybe it hit the batter, but it hit the bat. I'm not sure exactly what's going on right now. They're gonna review it or something. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Like there are people who act like the sky is falling when they lose a game. 100%. Um, I don't act that way. I point out when I think there are things wrong, but I listen, I have no problem saying like I think the Mets are going to be really good for the rest of the year. They're just start like Soto just started hitting today. Like I think they're going to go far. But it is very frustrating to see the offense just go to sleep for not just innings at a time, but sometimes games at a time. And that happens to a lot of teams. That happens to most teams, you know. But with an offense like this, you don't expect them just to look terrible at times. Just uncompetitive at bats at times. Not that I think it's going to be that way forever. I mean, they scored 27 runs in 2 games, right? But now they've scored 5 runs in 2 games. So you have to take the good with the bad, but you have to point out the bad when it happens and celebrate the good when it happens. They're reviewing this hit by pitch or foul ball to see if it was a foul ball or hit by pitch. See what they say. Catcher interference. I didn't say it is the same old Mets. I said it feels like the same old Mets, right? But I understand. I'm happy with the way the organization's moving forward. 100%. I think that we are in a great spot as an organization moving forward. But sometimes it still feels like same old Mets. I don't think we're the LOL Mets anymore. I don't think that we're the team that is a joke anymore. I think there is some PTSD involved in it, sure. But if the things continue to happen, like I said, it's not only PTSD. Any fan has the same kind of thing. Yeah, the offense will be good. I have no issues with this offense. Like, in my opinion, Lindor, yes, and I would say Lindor is way more solid, way more than solid. You can't say Lindor is solid. He's much better than that. So saying Soto will be okay, no, Soto's going to be great. Alonso has been great so far. There'll be some regression with him, but he's still a good player. Marte, yeah, I've seen enough out of Marte. But Winker, I have higher expectations for. Vientos, I think could still be a power hitter. I don't think he's going to be a clutch hitter or a high average hitter, but I think he'll be a good power hitter. And Nimmo, yeah, I'm concerned about, but we have him for like 5 more years, so we just have to hope. What is going on here? What is happening here? Oh, that did hit the bat. That should have been strike three. Whatever, he popped it up anyway. Okay. That could have been bad. That was a crazy, crazy. That was such a weird inning. All right, they get out of it without giving up a run. Adcock magically gets an out somehow. He looks terrible. But, yeah. Seems like Mendoza tried to punt this game and they ended up coming through. Now we go to the bottom of the ninth to see if the Mets can make the comeback. Get a couple guys on base here. You get a couple guys on base and get Lindor and Soto to the plate and Alonso to the plate. Anything could happen. It's the bottom of the ninth. This is when they start to do things, though. This is when the magic starts. So I hope they got a little bit more left in them. This would be a great series win. And I don't even care. Like, there's all this talk about how the Mets can't beat a good team and this and that. And I'm not even worried about that kind of stuff. It's just, this is a team that you might be playing in a playoff series. This is a team that's going to be fighting for a playoff spot. If the Phillies or the Braves come back and take over the division, you're going to be fighting for a wild card spot. And this is one of the teams that you're going to be doing it with. So these are important games in May or in April. They're important. You need to win games like this. Head-to-head record means something when it comes to making the playoffs and all that. So you got to win this game. D-Rails, I'm curious. Are you a Met fan? Because you comment on a lot of my stuff and you always make it like you Mets fans or like Mets fans, but you never include yourself in that. I'm just curious. I'm just asking. All right, bottom of the ninth here. Shelby Miller will come in to pitch for the Diamondbacks, and Luis Torrens will get the bat. Torrens hits one into right field, right at the right fielder. Out number one. One pitch, one out. McNeil coming up. Ball one to McNeil looked like a strike to me, but that little fake bunt that McNeil did looked to maybe change the umpire's mind. McNeil pulls one to the first baseman for another easy out, and there is now 2 outs in the ninth inning, and the Mets are down to their final out in this game. Oh, shit. All right. Taylor to the plate. Strike one. I don't like to see them going down so easy in those first two. First two outs came a little too easily. Now strike two on Taylor. Oh, sorry, I'm ahead. I've been oh, he's been ahead. I feel like I've been behind. My stream is behind what the screen says here, so I'm seeing each pitch like 10 seconds away behind. Taylor 2-2 count here. Just get on base. Get on base, get Lindor to the plate. Maybe something magic can happen. Taylor slow ground ball to shortstop, and he's out. So the Mets lose 4-2. No use challenging that one. Yeah, not great game here. Obviously, taking the series loss 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to have happen here. I don't know what else to say. It was really just a lifeless game out of the offense. There are 2 runs, came on 2 solo home runs by Juan Soto. And, yeah. Not so great. Whatever. We go to St. Louis starting tomorrow. Quick turnaround here. And let's hope they get back on a streak. They lost 2 in a row at home now for the first time this year. And it was just overall not a great performance. Still in first place. Still, I don't even know. What's the record now? 21 and 11 or something. There's still 10 games over 500. So it's not the end of the world. 1 loss, but it's a big one. It's a team that you needed to really, come out and perform well against. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, I'm going to start doing some more of these lives going forward. This is the first one I've ever done. So I am going to start doing some more going forward, and hope that you guys hang in there, come back, let your friends know, and yeah, until next time, let's go Mets.